Brian, do you drink?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just not very
Scintillating
often.
content, everyone. I just pressed the record button.
Oh, we were waiting for you to
I mean,
say
I drink occasionally.
Okay.
Okay.
So, last time we did this whole Ososha thing, you guys burned down the grove, tried to convince the druid not to be a dick. He decided to continue being a dick, but also not fight you guys. You came back to the church to have a rest, and you guys had decided that you were going to go to the rest this time. Is that correct?
At least try to see what's going on over there before we try to figure some other stuff.
All right, let me turn you up a little bit, Eki. You sound a little low.
Yeah, he's more quiet.
Okay, so we're here at the church. You guys have just gotten back from your adventure. Keely is going to kind of chill out here. You guys have done her quest. She's not super pleased with the results, but at the same time, she's not. She's going to go try to accomplish her ends by her own means as well.
Claptrap sacrifice. I'm sorry.
What?
Says the gay, good. Never mind.
The gay cleric.
The paladins that are
Good.
supposed to be all about, life.
Leave the man alone. He was just coughing.
I'm not supposed to know about anything, so.
Yeah, none of you guys know what Claptrap's patron said to her.
Nope. That's why I was coughing. I don't know.
Just so we're clear, I don't even remember what my patron said to me.
Oh, my
Important.
goodness. So
can I have
go
my
ahead and leave?
So you guys are in the church, still perpetual night outside. The sisters give you their blessings to go. They Sister Kron also runs over and gives you guys a missive in her handwriting. She says that this is good as vouching for you at the front door.
So we've had a long rest, yes?
You guys have had a long rest after burning down the grove, yes.
My HP back full.
So, should we have a powwow or should we just?
No, I think we should go ahead and just head out.
Do you need to
whiskey?
restock on anything, Eki, for your grease?
Technically, I have that barrel of the instantaneous burning, so I don't know how long that will last, but I can only load it up twice per long rest. So,
Okay.
You've artificered your thing, right? You've put it on repeating.
no, I can't because otherwise I'd screw over Lark and Madam Claptrap.
Okay.
Because I can only 2 infusions at one time.
Got it. All right. So you guys gonna step out?
Yeah, we're gonna all tell the ladies bye, and then we'll head out the door.
Grab some acids on the way out.
So we're all healed and everything, right?
Yeah, you guys are at full. Your spells are all back. You're ready for action.
I'm gonna pull the hurdy-gurdy out and start playing some songs as we go. To keep
All right. I'm
covered.
gonna go over to is this Keely over here, boss?
Yes, Keely's right there.
All right, Claptrap's gonna walk over to Keely and she's gonna. Hey, Dunnan. She's gonna take Keely's hands in her hands and look Keely in the eyes, kind of do a little bit of voodoo mood swelling with her quasi succubi powers, and basically just look in her eyes and be like, and Madam Claptrap's gonna deliver a message and say, Keely, darling, it's okay. I'm sorry that didn't quite turn out how you wanted it to, but I wanted it to happen differently too. I wanted to help you, but it didn't quite play out that way, hun. I've got to go now, but when I get back, what do you say we have another girls' night?
You know, it didn't turn out how I wanted it to. And I didn't expect you guys to burn down the grove, but you did what you set out to do, and you kept your promise to me, even if we had to take the long way around. You're okay in my book. You come back to me, we'll have a girls' night, and we'll get shit-faced.
It's a date. Have a good one.
So as you guys are going out the front door, Keeley turns into a cat, gets up on the windowsill, and jumps out into the night on the opposite side of the church. And Kibo is dutifully following along in the middle of the group with you guys. He seems completely at ease with the night and having you guys all around him still.
King Keybogue.
Yes, Claptrap.
Shall we be on our way?
Yes, I think I go inspect this part of my kingdom now.
Thank you, King.
Okay, so you guys step out into the night. The perpetual night is still going on, but this time there's a bit of precipitation. It's sprinkling a little bit out there. It's very wet, cold. At last, the rest and perhaps your mission objective, Brynna Toller, is in sight. If you hadn't already heard of Market Street, you would assume that the city's commercial center was here back when the city lived. The street is wide, so much so that one would have to shout to be heard from shoulder to shoulder. The cobblestone is well worn, but also meticulously maintained. The storefronts are of a different caliber in the rest. Their signs, doorways, and windows all seem to be painted bold, often garish colors. Gold features prominently in all of the businesses' color palettes, though most entrances are heavily barricaded now with hastily nailed boards or broken furniture. Alleyways, likewise, are blocked, leaving only the main thoroughfare to be easily used to traverse the area. Once in a while, you think you see a shadow slip away from a second-story window or hear the creaking of wood unattributable to the wind. And you guys are following Sister Kron's directions, and you find yourself in front of a compound of sorts that looks to be a fortified warehouse connected to a couple other buildings, one of which could be an inn. There's large sliding double doors that would allow entry into the warehouse to wagons, but they're off their tracks and nailed to the frame as they were never intended to be. Only a small service door is open to the outside world, and a spiked barricade has been erected in front of it. A man with a heavy crossbow stands in front of the doorway and presumably into the rest. He levels his crossbow at you with one hand, resting the weight of the heavy machine on the flat part of the palisade. His other hand, he keeps at his side, and that hand looks to have been dipped in metal or perhaps cast. State your business at the rest, if you please, my lords and ladies.
Do we have an updated screen?
No, I don't have this part as a visual. If you get into an
Okay.
encounter out here, I will bring it up.
Also, can we get an update of our hand-drawn map since we've been here for a little while now? Like adding like where the church is on it. And
Yeah, I can make some notes on it.
thank you.
Just a moment. I'll bring you guys into a mood setter. Okay, so guy's challenging you at the door.
Hail, gatekeeper. We seek entrance to the rest.
Damn it, Jim.
Hail,
What?
gatekeeper.
I just watched that video.
Hail, gatekeeper.
No.
We seek entrance. No. We are weary travels and would love to come inside.
You got quite a collection of lethal equipment on ye. You smell of wolves. You understand how we may be reticent to let you in among the sheep.
Dear sir, I am but a cleric here to spread the holy word. How dare
Also
you
be a
accuse me of...
Wait, hold on.
You guys are both talking at once. What's up?
No, Jim's audio finally hit Eki's computer. That's what happened.
Oh,
I'm on a headset, so it shouldn't reverb.
No, that was weird because we heard Jim's voice in Eki's Like, I didn't see Tim's mic light up. Whatever. Go ahead.
So he looks you over, Sun Go Frog. So he looks you up and down, has his crossbow leveled at you specifically still, and he says, I've seen enough clerics to know ye aren't all friendly. What else you got to prove of your intentions?
I have here a missive from the church. They said it was good as their word to show you that we mean goodwill.
The church, you see. How are the sisters and them orphans?
They're still good.
Better now that we came through.
It means a lot that ye have these women to vouch for you. I mean no offense, but the city is full of unsavory characters these days. Some of them are even breathing still.
I understood. So does that mean we can go inside?
Be that as it may, what is your business here at the Rest?
We're kind of looking for someone.
Looking for who?
It's a private matter.
Private, my ass. There's a lot of people in here, and it is my job to keep them safe. State your business or go the feck away.
Can we speak with your boss? We need to talk to somebody high up. This is a little over your pay scale.
Assuming I get paid. You're right, let's go on in. So he takes you inside. Okay. He takes you into the little door, the little service door that goes to through the double doors, like the sliding doors. And let me just get the thing here. I'm going to put you on that map. Pew.
If somebody else wants to take the lead, that's okay with me.
Okay. So the guard lets you inside the tiny door. Some of you have to step through sideways to allow passage of your shoulders and your armor. Once inside, however, the smell of long time in habitation and unwashed bodies assaults your senses. The warehouse appears largely empty of goods, but what space there is taken up by people. Everywhere you look, people, humans mostly, sit or lie on pallets on the floor. Some are asleep, some sit in their dirty little area staring off into space. All of them look gaunt. The children, at least, are lively. Groups of them are chasing each other through the little walkways between the adults. You can see a ripple of tension wash through the refugees as they notice you one by one. They all stare at you as you walk in. Some get on their feet, not knowing your intentions. The children are quickly and quietly hushed and hustled away.
No need to fear. Just looking for somebody. Where's the boss?
So the doorman, the guy that let you guys in, looks at you guys and says, "Come on, it's this way. Name's Ian, by the way. You can just call me Ian."
Is he a human? Or
He is a human man, yes.
I didn't know if I
He's
missed
dressed
that.
in sort of ragged clothes and what looks like a sailor's hat.
You said his one hand is made of like iron, or looks like it's made of iron.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a metal hand. It's like it's maybe iron or some kind of grayish metal.
Is it a
Dude,
full hook, or are we just talking?
No, it's a metal hand.
Okay, just fake, kind of like from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's something that would
Can
interest.
we do a perception?
You can.
Yes, I'd also like to do perception observation. Maybe judge the status of how badly these people are dealing or doing.
Okay, so you guys that are rolling for perception, tell me specifically what you're looking for.
So I want to
Just
take a more intricate look at his hand.
Okay, so you're looking at his hand. Go ahead and do your perception. All right, it's pretty good. You can tell that it is indeed an unusual cast for a false hand. There's nothing mechanical about it. It's just a very fancy die cast of a dude's hand.
Some impressive metallurgy you have going on there.
I used to be wealthy back sometime before this. I'm just an unlucky sailor happened to run aground here at the least convenient time. Now I spend my days talking to dead men and shooting those that need it. Ian Cartwright, at your service. This is something specifically, Madam Claptrap, you might know if you want to do a history check.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ian Cartwright is a famous ship captain, known by some to be a seafaring adventurer and philanthropist, known by others to be a bloodthirsty pirate and thief, depending on the storyteller's view on property rights.
DM, has Ian ever been to my brothel?
Yes, Ian has been to see your ladies, and he doesn't frequent there, but you've heard of this guy. And he's sort of a Robin Hood character of the seas. Like, he does what he wants and kind of spreads his wealth around. Like, he's known to make big scores and then come and spend all of his money locally.
This is the kind of guy that would could actually know and like speak to him familiarly.
Yeah. So like, could I, like, if I would he know me by sight? Like, would
Oh.
I have greeted him at my establishment?
You might have met him in passing at your establishment, but I don't think he knows you. I mean, out of the context of your brothel, I'm not sure if he would know you.
Right. So I could name drop. Fuck, I had never even named it.
I was just about to say you could name drop your place and he would know.
We'll go around introducing ourselves to the Ian Cartwright.
Okay.
I was gonna say we could follow him to whoever he's leading us to.
And Jim, your perception check, while not good, you can see that these people are not eating well, and disease and despair are rampant among them. It doesn't take a genius level intellect to see this. You can also tell that the children are much better fed. They've got actual energy. The grown-ups are probably giving the kids double rations.
Okay. I need to check something, but go ahead and continue.
Okay, so Ian leads you further into the warehouse. To your guys' left, you see like a heavy wooden door padlocked and bolted. It looks like it's been forced a few times, but it's been repaired and reinforced. Behind it, you hear curses and grunting. And Ian, as you guys pass, like, never mind that. That's our resident plumber. Water's a constant problem since the waterworks went down.
How many people are we talking here, John?
Well, in here, you would have to say it's nearing the triple digits. There's an upper floor where you can see heads peering down at you. Let me just bring the floor plan up for the upper floor there.
Triple digits, really?
It's
So
I
how many
didn't put
people
that
you
many
actually got
tokens
here?
in here because that would just lag us the fuck out.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, but we're nearing the triple digits of people in this warehouse. And you guys have heard people mention before that the rest is the place that will accept anyone and take them in, whether or not they can pull their weight or not.
I'd like to pull Mr. Cartwright to the side here and have a quick discussion with him. I'd like to cast Create Food and Water at least a couple times.
Okay.
Great water if you've got a bucket.
Never mind that for right now, gentlemen. Listen, the gesture is well taken, but you should go and see the lady in charge first before you do anything like that. You're gonna cause a riot if you're not careful. You understand? We've all been without for so long.
I know. That's why I'm talking to you. But we'll go talk to the lady and see what she wants us to do. Maybe she wants the food for herself.
All right. Unlikely, but I'm going to take you to her. Where procedure says that I need to introduce you to her. So in front of you guys, as he leads you in, you see like a cooking fire with a kettle. Several well-armed men are sitting around it with bowls in their hands. They were some of the first to take notice of you guys, and they're giving you like hard looks, while also casting meaningful looks at some of the other residents and the rest. There are stairs at the far back of the room, of the warehouse leading up to a loft. As you look up, you see faces peering over the edge. At least one of them has a spear to hand. And there's also a large corner of the building kind of roped off and decorated in hanging curtains and tarps. Behind a rickety table lounges a man in a comfortable chair, picking his nails with a knife. To his side is a small man with a permanent sneer on his face. You notice the pair watching you while attempting to look uninterested. You also hear the banging of hammer on metal somewhere to your right.
So, DM, I would like to make a perception check to see what kind of condition the building itself is in.
Okay.
I'd also like to do a check, but I want to do a history check due to my dwarven ancestry.
That was persuasion. The building is persuaded to tell you its secrets. Okay.
Um,
Every opening the building happens to have is reinforced in some way. These people have scrounged a lot of wood and a lot of metal. Everything's made with super crude nails. There's a lot of wood they've scavenged here, but the nails themselves look like they've been homemade and just nailed in any way they possibly can. James, your stone check on the history, is that correct?
Yeah, see if I can determine maybe what this building used to be, or even how old it could be.
All right, the stone itself is not made by dwarven hands. You know that much, but the foundation itself is a solid sort of worked stone. The place has seen a lot of wear on with wagons and crates, lots of scraping. The stones themselves say to you that this place was used to house a bunch of goods, probably stuff from the sea, and then it would be shipped off to somewhere else. Although a lot of that stuff is cleared off now.
This have been something that was here during the time of the Lich.
No, this is not that old. This is a human-created building.
10-4.
Can I do an arcane check just to see, I don't know, lay of the land in terms of what's going on spell-wise?
Sure. Oh, it's good.
uh,
All right. Other than the persistent darkness that's around you, you sense minor workings in the area. You sense some minor workings over in the corner of the building where that guy is sitting with his feet propped up and the knife and everything. You also sense some magic items lying around. Some of the magic items are on this guy with his cronies or the guy sitting around the fire. None of the scraggly refugee type folks have anything on them that's giving off any magical signature. So
would you describe this building as being dry?
no, well, it's dry-ish. Some of the important parts are dry, but there's puddles in the middle of the floor, like there's definitely a drip somewhere. But it's also got a drain as like grates and such. Ian takes you guys out the back door of the warehouse. Another small affair set inside the door on a track, through a courtyard that looks like it was once a shipping yard, then into another building. This one is recognizable as an inn. Inside, in the main tavern, stand three people, all hunched over a round table. On it sits a map and several candles. A tall man with long hair, scarred hands, and wearing studded armor is currently gesticulating wildly. Let me just bring this up here.
Define gesticulating.
He is flailing his arms and saying something in an impassioned way.
We come down
Thank
there.
you.
Yeah, you guys are down there. Hold on.
I was pretty sure I knew what that meant, but I just wanted to let everybody else know.
Yeah. Okay. So this guy that's ranting and raving is like, I've lost 2 scavenging parties in the past week. My men risk everything going out there, and this is what they get. A small lady with dark hair, like short dark hair, in a sort of civilian garb, behind the table, like hunched over the map. She speaks up and she says, as I've said, Shaver, you and your people's efforts are greatly appreciated, more than you could possibly know. The food is stretched thin as it is. The guy is not mollified. Indeed, but do you realize that all that running and fighting and hauling is hungry work? Yes, my lady? And at this, the lady winces. It's just Brenna, Shaver. Titles are nothing here, you know that. As I'm reminded every day. Why, then, are you snatching food and comfort from the hands of my people? Need I remind you that this is not the only fortified position in the city? Let morale dip low enough, and we'll lose some of them to the Dauntless, or, gods forbid, the Jackals. Hell, they know the city well enough to probably strike out on their own. And Brenna narrows her eyes and she says, and you, Mr. Shaver? This does not describe you as well? My loyalty is, as always, to the common good, my lady. Rations remain as they are. Double for your men as always. We will compensate them for any extra useful supplies they bring in with gold or fair trade. Other than that, we all have to make do with what we have. Unless you've found a way to make coin edible, it's a stopgap at best. These are men with their basic needs unmet. They will lash out. And the guy that's been sitting quietly, he's like a dude in like gray robes. He goes, as Brenna has said, we all appreciate what your men have done for us, Mr. Shaver. I only ask that your men take less libertine approaches to their lives here. My people are abused enough by circumstance. Your people are dead weight, and you are lucky to have those that are capable willing to feed them all. As far as the liberties taken, as far as I can tell, they are transactional in nature. Transactional or not, the bruises speak for themselves. And Brenna pipes up again. Is this true? Why is this the first I'm hearing of this? And Brenna looks like she's about to slap the guy. And Ian, your escort, pipes up. My lords and ladies, Brenna of the rest and council. And with that, Ian just walks away back the way you came. He's not a man to stand on ceremony. None of the council makes a move to greet you, all seeming to defer to Brenna. Shaver, the guy that was gesticulating wildly, looks over you appraisingly, narrowing his eyes, calculating. And then Brenna looks up from the map on the table at last. Greetings, travelers.
So, is this a well-lit room or a dim-lit room?
It's got like candles and shit, like on the table and on some of the walls and such.
Well met, princess.
Do not call me that. She looks from Shaver to what the fuck is this guy's name again? Timot. She looks at those two like sideways, like, don't call me that. As I said to our friend here, titles mean nothing here. We're all in the same situation. I'm starving as much as these people.
So, where are they at exactly? Because I would like to position myself somewhere.
Did I not
We,
put
can we
a
have a
thing
little
in?
sidebar?
There's nothing over
There's
here.
nothing in that room.
Fucking A. Okay, hang on.
We have a little sidebar here that doesn't that check the talking between them because I'm curious which way we want to handle this conversation.
Well, I was going to position myself behind the flailing arms man and, if need be, restrain and command.
Flailing Arms Man just left, so we just need to get between the Queen Lady.
No. That was the guide dude. The Flailing Arms guy is not the one that brought us here.
The bow.
The guy with the bow is the flailing arms guy. The guy right here is the representative of the peasant folk.
I was just curious. I mean, we could tell her. How do you want to help? You want to say like, well, to go talk to her and say, hey, look, we're here to take you and get the hell out of here, or are we here to help her with her issues? I mean, I can create food and water for a couple, twice in a day, enough to feed some extra people to give them some more rations. So, how do y'all want to handle this?
He's
Well-
not gonna want to go.
We found her.
While you guys are conferring, Kibo just kind of walks up and takes a place at the table like he's a member of the council. Like right next to gesticulating guy.
I mean, if they want to fight, I will restrain and create water inside the dude's mouth until he drowns.
Oh my.
I mean, I'm fixing to go all like head bitch in charge on Flaily dude. Like after hearing that his men are possibly taking advantage of the people here, I'm about ready to turn him into a giant ball of fire.
Yeah, my cleric is not exactly happy to hear about all that either. But I'm more worried about Dunnan just punch knocking them out, and be done with it.
Well,
What?
that could be a way in with Brenna.
There would be urine involved for sure.
Oh yeah. How big? I guess the question is, do we know how big these guys' scavenging parties are in relation to the other people? Like, do they outnumber the regular people, or are they just like Like it's a small.
You don't
group.
know yet. Why don't you hit me with an insight check?
Oh,
All right, you're pretty sure that you saw one of the scouting parties out there eating food in front of the refugees at the cooking fire.
Was that the last ones we saw that were kind of armed and watching us as we came in?
Yes, the armed people are probably part of the scavenging parties.
one with magic items. Magic items
So-
we could use.
What is this I hear about you and your people
Which way are we
hurting
going with
your
this, Nick?
members? Well, we're here to save the princess. We know where she's at. She's not going to leave. So we need pretty much find a
I'm
way
looking
to
forward
make her
to
leave.
I just want to know which way we're heading with this conversation, so I don't come in out of the blue and say something different.
But with James's character and I guess a couple of ours, would that like go against our good nature?
Well, if he's doing
Kidnapping
something
a
wrong,
woman who's
or
actually
if he's-
trying to help people.
So Brenna watches you take a sip out of your whiskey in a giant skull, and she's like, "You're going to be very popular around here if you start sharing that." By the way,
Speaking of sharing, I hear that you're a little short on food. We might be able to maybe alleviate that just a little bit.
She looks at you appraisingly. Before we do that, welcome to our home, such as it is. Seeing as how Ian let you into the rest and brought you to me, he trusts you not to hurt anyone. What brought that trust, friends?
We brought a note from the church.
And some mutual respect.
The sisters, then, you say?
Yes, we have helped the sisters a number of times now.
It's been some time since I've spoken to them. They're well, I hope?
As well as they can be.
Oh, good. They've been good to us, despite having their own charges to take care of. I apologize for not offering you any food or drink, but we have little to spare. And then the guy, Shaver, he says, "Who are you, and where did you come from?"
So, can I be hostile here without everybody else? Because
You
All right, hold on. Hold on. So I'm standing between them. I turn to Shaver and I go, "We're not talking to you right now, young one. Sit down and be quiet." And turn back to Brenna.
Why don't you do an intimidation check then? Okay, so he kind of shrinks away and folds his arm, and you hear him mutter under his breath like, "But there's no chair."
I'd like to go ahead and just go ahead and cast the food and the water stuff to now, one of them, just since she said they didn't have anything to offer, just to be hospitable back toward them ahead of time.
So Brenna sees you wave your arms and summon food and water in front of her, and she says, she looks at you and she says, "A cleric then? Thank the gods you're here. That's going to help out quite a bit. I'm glad you're doing it in here, though. Don't do it in front of our people. We have to ration this stuff. If people see just naked food lying around, they're going to have a hard time restraining themselves." Still,
Understandable.
Shaver, he and I don't agree on everything, but still, I would like to know as well, who are you and where did you come from?
Well, we're a kidnapped group of individuals that were sent here to bring you back home.
by a mutual friend of yours, as it may be.
From the outside?
Yep.
Now, that's surprising, though it shouldn't be considering how healthy you all look. Let me guess, you're supposed to bring me back, no questions asked.
Oh, we got questions.
Yeah, we're not too worried about the details. If you could fill us in a few things, we wouldn't be too hesitant to, look favorably upon that.
Yes, we've met quite a few different factions who all seem to have, how shall we say, ulterior motives.
That's an understatement.
plans for your ass, if we may.
Judging by the look of you all, you're fairly experienced and you have some lethal equipment. Who hired you to bring me?
I don't remember his name. It's not in the character list anymore.
Yeah.
All I've got is the
One night.
Hang on. You mean Dax?
Yeah,
Was it
that.
He was the general, right? Or was that the other one?
Yeah, Dax Fearless.
Not in the
Dax was
list
the
anymore, so I was
general,
just
and
looking
then
at
the
My bad. I can restore him. Pew. And then there's Mandor as well.
I thought there was
yeah,
some more.
Mandors, the fucker that ejected us.
Mandor was his man at arms or whatever, right?
Yeah, he was the one that was injecting us.
There you go. I've restored them all.
To
A man named Dex.
Dax. I don't know anybody by that name.
Is it Dax Felis or Mandor?
had a blood dropped etched dagger.
So she thinks for a moment, and then she kind of lets her poker face slip for a minute and smiles a little bit before she gets it under control. And she says, "There's no one named Dax Felis in this kingdom. I can tell you that much. But I have some suspicions about who might have hired you."
He seems like a pretty good spy master for the kingdom.
Can I do a check to see if she's lying?
Sure.
What would that be? Deception?
This one's gonna be insight to try to see.
Oh, right.
She's not lying.
Okay.
So, Timot, the guy in the gray robes that seems to be representing the refugees, he says, not to appear too forward, but a party of adventurers from the outside, capable fighters all, just when our situation was looking the most dire. This is either divine providence or the other shoe is about to drop. If these men mean to kidnap you, we don't have much power to stop them. But at the same time, they could be the answer to a lot of wrongs that have been perpetrated as of late.
Could you give us more details on the wrongs?
We can't just up and trust every stray that wanders in from the street, old man. They could be anyone, could have any motive.
Claptrap turns again, lights her hand on fire, and points it at him. What did I tell you?
The adults talking. Be quiet.
Brenna puts her hands up and is in like a placating gesture. She's like, as loath as I am to admit it, I have to side with Schaefer here. I question why you have arrived just now. You're welcome here. We take in everyone. But we need to have a talk about your motivation in seeking us out. So let's talk.
We have given you our motivation, lass.
Oh, Alex just told you our motivation, darling. We came here because we were charged with removing you from this island.
Now, if you would like to do this peacefully, we might be able to do this peacefully. However, if you give us too much trouble, there's not a guarantee that not everyone in this room will walk out of here.
We don't like doing things the hard way, but if you make us resort to that, it could go that way. Now, what can we do to amicably resolve all of your problems and get you out of here peacefully?
Brenna, keep in mind, we were all, shall we say, forced into this situation. We are not very happy about it. We may or may not be very agreeable to getting you out in one piece.
Whoa.
I am not leaving without my people. As if I had my way, I would be the last living person off of this island as we evacuate. Now, let's discuss things privately. Council members, would you please excuse me and our new friends here? We have a little bit to discuss. Shaver and Timot both start to walk away. Shaver looks like he really doesn't want to go. He wants to hear some of this, but at the same time, he knows who's in charge.
How big is our boat, John? How many people could it hold?
It's not going to
Not
hold the
many.
numbers of refugees you've seen. It could hold maybe about 50 people if you pack them all onto the deck. Whether or not it's going to float, who knows?
Okay.
So when those two left, Brenna turns to you guys and says, I can't stop you if you try to take me from this place against my will. I just don't know if my uncle sent you.
Your uncle, the king?
Okay, so now that the other two have left, we can all kind of, well, I don't know. I seem to relax a little bit. I get a drink from Brennan and I go find a place to sit on a little stool over here.
I pull my hurdy-gurdy out, sit down, and just kind of play with the strings idly.
Brennan notices you fading in and out as you pluck the strings, and she arches an eyebrow, but otherwise doesn't say anything.
You'll get used to it.
As I
Now,
said,
lads,
I want to know whether my uncle actually sent you. You can come here and name drop Dax Fearless if you want to, and give me a description of a dagger. But if you guys are who I think you are, you'll know that my uncle is a bastard, and I probably shouldn't go anywhere with you.
See, that's the problem.
As far as we
No.
know, no.
We don't know much about Dax Felis either. We were kidnapped and brought to him and then charged with bringing you off this island.
Can you describe him, whoever this is, the person that sent you?
Short,
can we describe
weird,
Mandor?
bit of an ass.
You want the one that kidnapped us or the one that charged us with the task?
Let me guess. Tall, old, gray, and a little bit shy about around girls?
And a few scars.
Yes.
Well, I'd know Mandor anywhere, and wherever he is, my cousin is along. Yep, okay, you guys were sent by the right people, and I'm glad that you got to me before my uncle's hired dogs did.
They're probably here too, by the way.
Indeed, I've suspected that my uncle would try to have me assassinated here.
We killed some big ugly bastard in plate armor.
Wearing a piece of armor called Hesh plate, if that rings any bells for you.
I know of my uncle's dogs that he sends out to take people down. That one was a pretty nasty one. Big, stupid, but well armored.
Well armed.
Had a
Is that-
really crazy ass voice too.
When I pull out the hammer and start spinning it idly, just to prove a point.
As I said, I will not be leaving without my people. But with you people here, you may be just the thing to turn around our situation and get the island in a stable enough shape to where we can leave.
When you say your people, do you mean the refugees, or are you talking about a smaller group of people?
Right now, my charges are in the rest, but I would like to get the entire island evacuated. Or even so, even without being able to evacuate everyone, I'd like to go after the root of this curse that plagues us so.
So you know what's going on with the curse.
Not in the slightest. My entire life right now is keeping people alive, and I'm just hanging on my fingernails by that.
Have you been here since the beginning when all this started?
Yes, indeed. I was here
Is there-
since the first zombie was spotted, and I've been here ever since.
Is there any way she could give us a rundown of the events of how this all transpired from start to finish till now?
You can ask her.
Is that a need to run a check or is this just a question?
No, you guys are speaking frankly at the moment.
Well, say we were to help you, my lady, Brenna.
Please don't
if
do that.
We
It's just Brenna.
you be able to tell us how things progressed from the first time things went bad.
Well, I was near ground zero whenever it started. Zombies, the undead, poured out of the keep and began biting and ripping flesh off of everyone. And zombie led to zombie. The infection spread throughout the city. I ran, and I ran until my feet wouldn't carry me anymore. And I ended up here.
A moment. You said poured out of the keep. Are we talking about the tower or the bone fortress?
We're talking about the fortress. The tower, I have no idea what's going on there. Some of my people have been there, but they said that the place is haunted.
Do you still have? I heard him say that you had other holdouts in the island. What are you still in contact with?
No one right now, other than the sisters of Perilia. We've seen a couple Dauntless guys every now and then, but they try to stay in their territory while we stay in ours. The Dauntless have a lot of strong people, and they have scavenging parties out all the time.
Dauntless is Forge, right?
The Dauntless are the folks that were they were the guys that the girls' night out took place in.
Ah, yeah, those guys.
And then Claptrap has what were those people called again?
Claptrap has the Jackals in it, former murderers and thieves and such.
Ah, yes, Brenna, the Dauntless. Oh, Lark and I ran into a few of them. Nice people.
They're nice enough. I mean, they tend to stay where they're supposed to be, which is fine. We've invited them to come over here and join with us, but they're very into their code, very into their fatalism, where they want to die with honor and die with their boots on.
Yes, that would be them.
As it is, we take in anyone, whether you be a tailor or a former guard or a beggar from the street. We're here just to preserve human life.
Say, Brenna, do you have any individuals in your camp that you would consider less favorable or that cause a problem every now and again that you wouldn't mind just if they happen to go outside and not come back?
She laughs for a minute and she says, other than the entire council and most of the people here, we have been living cheek to jowl for months now. None of us can stand each other. And friction is bound to come up. It's nothing like I want to have anyone killed, but there are a lot of things that are making life hard around here.
That'd be Shaver.
Shaver is antagonistic toward me and toward others a lot of the time, but at the same time, he is useful and he makes a fine case for his people. Going out scavenging, killing zombies, and patrolling is hungry work. I understand that. They need more calories than the rest of our refugee folks. However, seeing as how we rely on them for everything, it tends to create a power imbalance that have gone to a few people's heads.
Is Schaefer one of them?
Shaver is loyal to his people. I don't think he is one of those that would take liberties with my people. However, the scavenging crews will take anyone with a strong arm and a willingness to go outside. And not all of them are the best type of folks. We even had a splinter faction a while back, a group of scavengers that decided they were better off on their own. They're somewhere out there. They've been picking off some of our scouts every once in a while, either recruiting them or killing them. They haven't come back.
The roofers.
I met roofers at the meetings we used to have in the Grove, but not for a long time. They tend to be a little standoffish.
Are you aware of who leads?
Sorry, I didn't catch any of that last transmission.
Said, are you aware of who leads the roofers?
Oh, the vampire? Yes. I've met him. Less than savory sort of fellow.
Has he
He's a little bitch.
caused any issues in the past that we should be aware of? We have run into him, and he may or may not need to go poof.
No, we used to work together. We used to try to trade between our factions. However, that has changed recently, as you may have guessed. The vampire himself, I'd rather not be dealing with his kind, but I couldn't deny that he was useful in his way. He was able to keep his people together and train them up.
So what do you need from us?
Oh, I have a laundry list of things that are slowly choking our people to death as we sit and huddle in this warehouse. First of all, we're having water problems. The water has stopped flowing from the desalination plant. I have no idea what's going on there.
Waterworks.
The waterworks have gone down. Our plumber is working on things on our end, but she's pretty sure that the desalination process is down for some reason. She wants to go over there and fix the problem, but she doesn't want to get eaten by trolls.
Trolls, you say?
Trolls.
Yes, a group of trolls have set up shop in the pits and the waterworks, and they've stopped the desalination process somehow. They'll eat just about anything, and they're difficult to kill. They've already eaten quite a few of our patrols.
Good thing we've got a giant.
Good thing we've got a Dunnan with a magic crossbow.
Done and.
Well, be that as it
About how
may,
many trolls would you say were there?
I have
We've had our run-in with a couple already.
trolls reproduce like nobody's business. I have no idea how they do it, but it seems to do with something with the blood and with getting hurt, and I don't even know if they have genders, so to speak. There's just more of them every time we look. I have no idea why, and it's impossible for us to fight our way there now.
Can you give us a rough guess on how many there are?
We've seen parties of 3 to 4 trolls wandering around, but the closer you get to the pits, the more dense they are. Not sure what caused them to go there, other than that being our primary garbage dump. But they've decided that the waterworks in the pits are their home now, and other than collecting rain off of the roof, our water situation is looking grim.
Besides, do these trolls seem normal, or do they seem like they may be undead as well, infected?
The trolls don't seem to be undead. They seem to be just trolls, from what I gather. I've never met one, since I'm not an adventurer. However, those that with some knowledge have told me that they seem to be pretty bog standard cave trolls. Ian specifically has caught sight of a couple of them, and he said that they're behaving as trolls should.
What's next on the list?
Food. It's always food. We have to range further and further afield to find food all the time. And our scouting parties are having to stay out longer and longer and then come back. And as you could see when you walked in, it's causing some tension between the groups, the haves and the have-nots, so to speak, the people that have strength and training and those that do not. You might understand that those without power resent those that they have to rely on to go out and get things for them. They feel useless. And the people with power that go out and get the food come back and they feel that they're entitled to more than their fair share. It's a hard balance to strike. We've been trying to train people up, but this is a constant problem. Our people are too weak to really train and build muscle and awareness and such to go out and do more scouting missions. It's a death spiral. I'm afraid our colony might be doomed as it is unless we change things.
Sounds like you need to find a way to leave the island.
Of course, if they leave, they'll be burnt alive. Only those that have
Well,
will be allowed to.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the burning and such, Brenda gets a far off look in her eyes and she shudders. I saw all the ships burn as they tried to leave in a mass exodus. It wasn't pretty seeing all those people purged like that. Now they're just ash.
So unless
So-
the lungy lady here knows of a mightier ship that has a way to stealthily get out of here, there might be other issues.
I know of no huge ship that would carry all of my people. And I don't even know what's going on in the outside world now. Is the entire place covered in darkness like this, or is there still sun out there?
There's still sun out there.
As far as we know.
Seems to be on this island.
If we're to escape, are we escaping
So the
to
father
a
of the
place without the plague of the undead?
Again, as far as we know.
The
Until
two
you're
were
with you.
there on the mainland when we got there, as we were leaving.
Ah, and another thing. We have well, it seems like we have a strange faction within our little group here. Our merchant, you may have seen him in the warehouse, his name is Chopper. He is openly defiant of our rules here, and he always seems to come back. He and his people always seem to come back from their outings with more food than seems to be normal for our scouts and scavengers. Every time he comes back, he's laden with goods, and he sells his food and drink and healing potions and potions of cure disease for massive amounts of gold. He's wringing people dry around here, and we have no idea where he's getting his stuff.
Um, so I have a spell that would make him talk. Would you be amenable to pull him in here so we could maybe have a frank discussion with him?
I'm not willing to overtly go after this man. He
Oh,
is
well,
he is at once a bastard, but we also have rules around here that I am supposed to be a paragon of. I am supposed to follow these rules since I wrote them. And if I am seen violating someone's rights and violating their personal property and value in their space, I think I would lose all authority, and this would turn into a hungry
Easy,
mob.
laddie. See,
They would eat
easy.
each other.
We're not asking you to do anything except give us an introduction to the men. What we do when you're not around is not that big of a deal.
If you're going to discern where he's getting his stuff and maybe make him talk, I can't be seen introducing you to him. You'll know him when you see him. He's sitting there on his throne of stolen goods like a stupid dragon, looking at everybody, waiting for them to get desperate enough to come and buy something from him.
how many men are in his party?
He has 4 lackeys that he uses. And if you could find where he is getting his goods, I would be most appreciative.
I think we
So-
might be able to help with that.
While I can't do anything about what Madam Claptrap does to this man, I can cast a spell that will make him speak only truths.
Or we could just follow him the next time he goes out in the, let's just say, the shade, and figure out where he goes.
Here comes to another problem. Even if we find Chopper's cache of goods that he seems to be raiding every time he goes out, we still have a hard time finding scavenged goods, metals and woods and such. Our blacksmith, hold on, let me look up his name here. Our so-called blacksmith, what is your name, brother? I have a list of dudes here. Okay, Robert, our so-called blacksmith, Robert, is always pounding away at his forge and making salvaged metal into something useful, but he has no idea what he's doing. We have no qualified smiths here, and he's just a guy that's willing to get near the fire and bang away at stuff. If any of you have any know-how, I would appreciate you helping him out.
No, I could do that.
Or we could sweet talk your lady love into coming over here.
You know, she ain't gonna leave the kids.
Dungeon Master, can any of us make a perception check of sorts to see a layout of the storeroom, a layout of the land around? Like, if we were to peer out the windows, just to see if, like, we're alone with this woman right now. It would, in a situation in which one of us either casts a sleep spell or knocks her over the back head, knocks her out, and we make a run for it, would there be a way for us to escape without detection from where we are?
Okay, you're essentially casing the place?
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be a series of checks if you don't want her to know about it.
Okay.
All right, what do you want to do first? You're trying to look around, like, out the windows and such?
Make sure no one's eavesdropping on this first.
Whatever he just said.
Okay, so you're trying to check for eavesdroppers. How do you want to do it?
Hell, I don't know. Perception?
Walk around the room and see what we can see. Maybe crack the door and look in and out.
Okay, so go ahead and you can go ahead and start looking out the windows and cracking the door and such, but I need you to roll a perception check.
Who was doing this?
Sam. Okay. As far as you know, you don't see anyone observing you as you look out the windows. and you're going to open up the door a crack to look outside. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead and do a sleight of hand.
Oh God.
Pretty good. So you open the door and you find a dude with his nose pressed up against the keyhole as you open it up. He's right there.
Grab him and drag him inside.
He tries to run.
Nice.
He tries to run away from Claptrap. What do you want to do?
I want to grab him and drag him inside.
All right. Do a let's see, athletics check for grapple. Sorry, Sungo
Sorry.
Frog, you're not right there.
Well, I'm just moving towards the doors. Is all I'm doing.
And you got a shot on this guy.
All right. Let me roll for him right quick. Okay, so you grab him by his collar and you yank him back, and he's just skin and bones. So he just kind of comes back with your hand. You're not a strong person by any mean, but you manhandle this motherfucker back into the room.
So what have we here? Explain yourself.
All right, everyone, relax, please. Would you believe I was cleaning the doorway?
I'd also like to do a
I
perception
start to
check.
reach for my hammer.
I'd like to do a perception check, see if anybody else is eavesdropping while we've just found this one.
Claptrap bends down. I assume he's like sitting on the floor.
Yeah, he's on the floor now next to the wall.
I squat down and I look him in the eyes, and he looks me back straight into my solid black eyes, and I say, "Likely story. Speak up or feel my wrath."
James, you notice no other people trying to eavesdrop on you. Brenna looks at you guys and said, "Oh, that's Minro. He's a sneaky little git and Chopper's right-hand man."
Chopper, is that the merchant guy again?
That's the merchant that always comes back with a bunch of shit from the outside world.
Skin and bones, like he's a small person or he's very hungry?
He's very thin, but he looks like he's been fed.
So we couldn't bribe him with food?
Unlikely.
So I start reaching for my warhammer and tell him, I'd like to hear some more about your door cleaning abilities and what you might have seen.
There's no rule against listening at doors around here. We have very few doors to listen from.
Lady Brenna, would you mind giving us a moment with this gentleman to have a frank discussion?
I do kind of mind. I can't allow you to torture the man. However, I did just mention to you all that I need you to find Chopper's stash, and we can't have little Minro warning Chopper what you're going to do. What to do with you,
Is there a
Minro?
fireplace around here?
It's right here.
So I'm going to grab him and drag him to the fireplace.
Thank you, my lord, thank you. It's quite warm here. I like it here. It's very warm.
And then grab his arms, hold him behind his back, and then grab the back of his head and start shoving him towards the fire.
No, that's too warm now. Nope. It's very warm. No.
I'm just gonna turn my back and look the other direction since, that's...
You haven't even asked me any questions. What's wrong with you?
I did ask you a question.
Volunteer the information out of the goodness of your heart.
Surely these coals are warming it up by now.
Right. I was here to listen. I was here to listen for you, yes. But we don't have any rules against listening at the door at council meetings, do we?
Who said we were part of this council?
You look important.
So
I start pushing him closer to the flames. Just close enough that his cheeks start getting the pops.
I'm gonna go grab another beer. I'll be right back.
Jesus, Eki. Okay. Brenna watches you guys doing this. She says, "Oh, I'm not sure what I've gotten myself into here. Minro, just tell these people what we want to know, and you can be on your way whenever we're done with this." No. Listen, I don't know exactly where Chopper gets his stuff. No, please.
If you lie, you die.
So you hear like a knocking on the door and you hear someone's voice come through. Hey, everybody okay in there? I hear shouting.
David, you want to go talk to them at the door and tell them everything's okay?
No habla inglés.
I'll go over to the door, kind of open it a crack, and be like,
Oh, we're fine. You're just dealing with a little eavesdropper.
So it's Shaver, and he's like, "Listen, no, what are you doing to that poor man over there?"
so I grab Shaver and just pull him in the door.
Oh, no.
He
Okay,
volunteered himself.
roll an athletics check.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
He has a 10. You have an
Oh,
18. So both of our mages have just manhandled trained warriors into the room. And Shaver's like, "What the fuck?"
David, make sure no one else
Just-
comes to the door, please, sir.
All right,
Just the
Dave's gonna go
person
sit
we-
outside the door.
Brenna, are you torturing someone in here?
Just
No,
the
it's
person
not.
we've been wanting to talk to.
Shaver, why don't you come join us by the fire? It's nice and
Brenna
warm.
Brenna says, "Shaver, no, it's not what it looks like." And Shaver's like, "I knew it. I knew you were a fucking hypocrite the entire time. Always talking to us about your morals and everyone matters and that everyone has their rights and you're just..."
Gunnan, take care of him.
Piss on him.
So,
Oh no!
so you punch him in the
No.
stomach and he doubles over onto the fireplace.
Got your whole.
We don't want to be hearing words from you from your crew who takes liberties with their other people, like you're all high and mighty.
He's out of breath and can't answer you. He's like, "Ah."
If you want to be a good little man and understand why this man is robbing you or helping you being robbed blind, sit over here in the corner and let us finish talking to him.
Robbed?
The other guy's boss is,
Oh.
robbing everybody by
So-
their money.
Alex, as you're standing outside the door there, you see Home Dude, the Timot, start walking up the walkway. Like, "Hey, I heard shouting. What's going on over here?"
Let's just say engineering dispute. I would even be if I was you.
Engineering dispute. Is Brenna okay?
Oh, she's fine.
You're gonna have to do a deception check.
Well, she is fine.
You're not being on the up and up.
Wait, Brent is fine. There's nothing wrong with
All
Brent.
right, I want you
That's the
to.
truth.
I want you to try to deceive him stupidly.
She's fine. Just this. Hey, where'd you get the rope?
He rolls an insight check. So, what are you hiding back there?
Please don't make me do this.
Do I? Hold on.
Hold on.
He looks like he's looking over his shoulder to try to call for somebody.
Oh, I wish I had some sort of silence.
I have command, which is in
Look,
60.
He's like, Ian, something's going on here at the council room.
Knock that motherfucker out.
Ian.
I pull out my gun and put it in his face. Like, look,
Shit.
you're being a little loud. Calm down.
He's like,
Let's talk
yeah,
about
and he
this.
cuts off like mid sentence as your barrel touches his lips.
Be calm now. Can you stop yelling?
He kind of
Madam
nods at you.
Madam Claptrap steps outside and looks at whatever his name is and says, "Darling, if you don't want to meet your end very quickly, I suggest you be quiet and step inside. Don't say anything."
His eyes are like the size of dinner plates, and you've got him under the gun, and he very cautiously like strafes around Alex so that the gun never wavers, and then he heads inside with all of you.
Why Alex close the doors and cusses, son of a bitch.
And Kibo's
And-
looking at everybody like, "This get very exciting, very exciting."
So I'm going to now start addressing the man as Maggot. I wanted answers, and you have yet to reveal anything to me, and start slowly pushing his face closer to the coals.
And Brenna is starting to get irate. She's like, listen, I am trying to do something good with these people. These are people that are helping me. We don't like each other all the time, but we are trying to help each other. What? This is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to be a fucking tyrant like my uncle.
Okay, Sungo, I think he may have gotten the point for the moment. If need be, we can always feed him to the flames later. Why don't you find him a nice place to sit so we can speak with him?
Calmly.
Brenna
So
seems
I'm
fairly ameliorated, but she tells you like I will not be a dictator here. I'm not that kind of
trying to be a
person.
dictator.
No, ruling by force is exactly what you're trying to get me to do, and I will not be doing that. These
I
are
never
free
wanted
people.
you to be forced. I use my own methods that I've learned over thousands of times in the battlefield. Someone go grab me my ogre cloth. It's time to have a little more judicious fun with these peoples.
Giant, this is not a battlefield. This is an inn, and we are a refugee camp, among other things.
Refugees do not hide things from others. They share equally.
That is exactly what they do because they're trying to live.
That's not what Chopper's doing.
Hey, Lark, I'll be by the door. Let me know if I have to kill someone or the frog.
So Timot comes in, and not knowing exactly where his place is, he kind of like wanders over to his stool and sits down shakily.
Claptrap goes over to where he sits down and reminds him very kindly, Timot? And she lights her hand on fire and points at him. I'm only going to say this once. If you ever open your mouth about this, I will come back here, and I will haunt your dreams until the end of your days.
Brenna shakes her head like, you people have been here for 5 minutes. You already have the entire council hostage. And Kibo, not wanting to be left out, he like gets right next to Timot and starts looking up into his face like super close, like unblinking because he's a lizard. And it's fairly comical because he's shorter than the guy even while he's sitting down and he's having to look up into his eyes.
Is Kibo crawling into his lap?
He's very close to it. He's like right in his personal space.
My lady, you should be very aware that most of us aren't the most cordial of people. And King Kibo over there seems to be the only one that we respect here in this island. If this man would just answer his questions, I'm sure Sungo would be nice enough to let him go.
King
I'd be
Kibo?
happy to.
It's his title, and that is what he wishes to be associated with. So we call him King Kibo.
Long live the king.
Long live the king!
Long live the king.
She smiles a little bit and she says, royalty on us on the grounds of the city of bones. I've never seen that sort of thing. My lord, if you would excuse my impertinence, you may ask of us whatever you like. And Kibo just keeps on looking into Home Dude's eyes in some sort of like weird try at intimidation. The guy looks weirded out, but at the same time it's a kobold.
Yeah, but he should get just a little bit like scared. Could we get him to like maybe pee himself just a little bit?
Well, Kibo continues to stare into his eyes, and Home Dude can't seem to look away. And he's like, "Is he going to bite me?" No, Kibo poof.
Claptrap laughs when the guy asks if Kibo's going to bite him. You're a funny one, old man.
Should have Kibo poof and directly behind him.
Kibo, loud noises. Ah!
So I'm gonna take the man and do as Treader has suggested, and take him, pull him over to the table, and try to persuade him now that he, in his best interest, to answer our questions.
Well, as I said, we only go to the halfway point whenever Chopper goes out on a scavenging run. I've never gone into the actual place. All I know is it's to the north and west, and he takes his stuff and he gets it into a wagon and we bring it back. That's it.
How many men go?
Just Chopper go.
He's only got 4 men, including me. We're nothing. We're bringing goods to the people. And that gold ain't gonna do 'em any good whenever they're gone.
So why does he request so much of it?
I don't know. Maybe it's a personality flaw of his. Maybe he's part dragon. I don't know. But he likes his gold.
John, you said north and west. Would that literally be the waterworks?
Toward it, yeah.
Okay.
So they scout northwest to get their goods?
Yeah, Chopper seems to be going northwest to get his goods, at least according to Home Dude.
And it's the halfway point.
Did he ask you to come eavesdrop on this conversation?
No.
So can I check to make sure lying or an intimidation?
Yeah, you can do either of those things.
I'm gonna just go ahead and intimidate.
Was it deception to see if he's lying?
Right.
Oh,
Can I intimidate him as well?
It's insight to see if he's lying, and intimidate will get him to talk if you like. Yeah, he's lying.
All right.
Guys, I don't believe he's giving us the truth. Maybe he just didn't get warm enough by the fire.
Damn, that's not quite enough, is it?
No. I like to take my initiative. That's why I'm his number 1 man, and that's why I'm the guy you come to if you need something done.
So you could give us a proper introduction then, yes?
If that's what you need done, old Minro's here for you.
Minro the maggot has an idea for us.
I like the alliteration, but I'd rather not be called a maggot.
Too late.
Like Minro the muscle. You know what? That's all I got. I'm just
Minro
saying.
the maggot that was not to be squished beneath my boot.
My loyalties can be bought, and if you want me to do something for you, I will. So as not to die, perhaps.
Well, let me just put it this way. Brenna doesn't want you killing us, but let's say we don't do entirely everything Brenna says. Out of respect, we won't kill you right now. But how was I going to say this? Blah, 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 pay your life. Your life equals what we're going to pay. You said you can be bought. Yeah, we're going to buy it with your life. Blah, 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 blah.
Funny, because that's all I've got right now. I will do what you want so as not to die. And Shaver, having recovered himself by now, he is staring daggers at Brenna and looks to be simmering and biding his time.
So with what'd you call that dude? The maggot? What's his name?
Minro.
The maggot.
I wonder if maybe be worth our time to maybe have a nice frank discussion with Shaver, since he seems to be so out of sorts.
Is it Schaefer's dudes that are abusing the people, or is it Chopper's dudes that are abusing the people?
A little bit of both.
Both of them.
The haves and the have-nots are having a hard time with each other in this situation. Oh shit, hang on. Fuck.
I think Lily's up.
Oh shit. Okay. Sorry, my headphones went out for a minute there. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Yeah, she's fairly upset. She's been trying to run an egalitarian faction here. You better make one hell of a persuasion roll on this one. Yeah, okay, 19. So Brenna seems to calm down a little bit whenever you say this. And Shaver, being pissed as hell, still doesn't calm down too much, but he doesn't seem to be staring daggers at Brenna so much anymore. And Timot over there is just still looking into Kibo's eyes, doing his best not to flinch. Brenna's like, these are the basics of life: food, water, security, shelter. We've got the shelter thing covered. But at the same time, if somebody can't feel safe within their shelter, it's not really counting, is it? He has this over a barrel at the same time. He comes back with the goods. We've tried to follow him before, but he's a sneaky bastard. What? That is another line of supply that we would be cutting off just then when we can't afford it. Depends on how loud he plays it, I guess. I'd say the better he plays it, the better he stealths up. He does a performance roll on it a lot of the time whenever we play it, right? That's what we would go off of. I don't care how loud he plays it, but at the same time, there would be a chance that they would hear music on the wind and then check it out. It also doesn't mask a little dwarf wandering around in plate armor and a huge hammer. Yeah, he's on his knees right now. Uh, may I speak freely without being punched in the stomach? If I may be clear, let me tell you something. I was a stable hand before this fucking zombie apocalypse happened. The only reason I am the leader of the scavengers is because I stepped up and I gathered people to me, strong enough to go out and get things. Now, we have not had an easy time of it. I'm not a leader. I'm not even educated. I am just a man designated to come and be on this council. I have very little pull with the men that I supposedly lead. They're all people of strength, and they're all people with some kind of weapons training, the ability to go out there and the stupidity to brave the zombie hordes and bring back things for the people. I barely have control of these men. My only concern is bringing their morale down enough to where we can no longer feed the people in our charge. Indeed. We have no justice system here. We haven't had any cause for it. But perhaps this time we did have something. Shaver, I understand your plight, and I understand not wanting to chase people away from our cause. But at the same time, we can't allow this kind of abuse happening in our walls. Indeed, my men have been doing stupid things ever since they let it go to their heads that they're strong enough to go out and fight. They've resented the people they have to give their food and supplies to. I get that. I get why it's happening. And I feel for the people that have been abused, but I just don't know what else to do. Timmut pipes up and he says, "A law is not a law unless it applies to everyone, even those that are essential, so to speak." I believe we could get behind something like a natural law. Don't hurt others, don't take other people's things. It depends on the day. It's really according to how much you have. Chopper is a right bastard. The only reason he's still around is because he has access to all these things he's bringing back. It's Menro, and I will have a talk with him. You just, you've got the right man. Shaver. In principle, I feel the same way. However, I'm at a loss of what to do about it. Remember, we also need them. They are our lifeline to the outside world. It's not just me. Brenna nods her head. She seems to like it. Kibo has taken that chair that Treader has gotten for him, and he's sitting right in front of Timot. Even though Timot's trying to like talk to you guys, he has to like move his head around to get around Kibo's head to like make eye contact with you guys. Kibo's just staring icily into his face because he's a lizard. Thank you, Treader. He is almost about to break. Yes. And he's doing so right now. Ah, yes, intimidation. Yes. And he stands up on the chair at his full height, and he's craning his little lizard neck up and just looking down finally into Timot's eyes. And Timot is looking at you guys like, help me please, but nobody's doing anything. This one, tough cookie, hard to crack. All right, how do you want to do any of this stuff? So Timot says that I'm willing to grant you that point. However, just remember it won't look like that to everyone that you will be taking actions against as of right now. The situation here is quite delicate, and unless you do something that distances you from Brenna whenever you do these things and try to set things aright, things could go badly for her here. Brenna turns to him and she's like, I don't need you to save me, Mr. Timot, but you do make a good point. Brenna nods and she says, I like the samurai looking guy's plan. I like to have everything out there in the open. I hate this political shit in the background. Shaver shakily gets to his feet and he says, Pardon me, ma'am, but this is a little bit naive. If you come out and air all the grievances out in front of everyone, it's liable to stir up a mob among the refugees. They will tear, first of all, my scavengers and each other apart to get to whatever resources once they know that the status quo is being disrupted. They see you as an authority figure. They see us, me and Timot, as lesser authority figures. They need some sort of stability. If we just come out and say that things are all not all right in our house, things could collapse here. There's a risk. I'm saying that some people prefer to deal with the devil that they know. What's that, Bree? All right. V- Very well. In that case, pretend I'm paying you. And if you can get some of these things taken care of for my people and improve their situation, I think I will be more amenable to getting off this island and coming back with help. Can wrap up anytime you guys want. This is an open thing. I'm bringing up like my NPCs are bringing up valid points, but you can terminate this conversation anytime you want and go do what you got to do. Like this is an open world sort of thing. So as you guys are picking up to go and making preparations and such, Timot like suddenly just like stands up out of his chair and he's like, "All right, all right, all right. I I keep in contact with the Splinter faction outside, the people that have been picking off our scouts. Just get your fucking kobold away from me." And Kibo's like, "He was tough to break, but I break him." I know where our Splinter faction is holed up. I know some of those people, and I know where they're holed up. I know where they live. No, I could not have helped them. I only knew where these people were. I wasn't willing to sacrifice their lives for others. It was a trade. If I would have told everyone where they were, they would have gone and killed them. It wouldn't have netted anyone anything. Yes, they killed some of Shaver's goons. Fuck those guys. This is a horrible situation indeed. I made a choice not to rat on my friends and let them do what they needed to do to get justice. Just get your kobold away from me. Can, what's that smell? Kibo, King Kibo, pass judgment. You are guilty of betrayal. King Kibo sentence you to loincloth. Brenna sighs, and she says, Timot's well liked among his people, and he is indispensable when it comes to dealing with folks that are part of the refugee population. If Timot agrees to be a puppet of sorts, I won't have to have him executed. I say we kill him. This freeloading piece of shit got my boys killed. Some of them have not done anything wrong in their lives. They're just out there doing things for us. Brenna steps up to Timot. She says, I expect you to say nothing but good things about this council to your people from now on, and you will wear this loincloth. The king has decreed that you wear this smelly garment. I imagine you won't be getting a lot of company in your bed anytime soon. If I see you without it, I'll call these people back.
War does things to people. You see it.
Menro has one foot out the window right now, and he's attempting to run away. So he's kind of sitting on the fence right now. He's like sitting like one leg out the window, one leg in. He's looking back and forth, like checking his options. And Cody fires a crossbow into him. Roll for damage. All right, you hit him in the stomach. So he's sitting there with a crossbow bolt in his stomach, and he looks like he's wavering, and he's unable to. He's about to fall out the window. He looks to be dying. No, he's so weak, it's going to be like dragging a kitten back inside. Although I guess I haven't met a lot of kittens. Okay. Okay, so you heal him back to almost full. He had 8 HP, Cody. You almost killed him. All right, roll 1d4. Yeah. So he's down to, let's see, hold on. It was -7, he was down to 1, +6, he's up to 7, now he's down to 5. Okay, so he's still bleeding from his stomach, but he's not dying. Oh, I wasn't needed in this conversation. I figured I'd go do what you asked me to do. Yes, I'm lying to you pretty well. That was his deception check. He has an 18 deception. I was just off to do your bidding. Like I said, I like to do my initiative. I like to take it. And you realize he's full of shit, James. If you don't mind, I've got a hole in my belly. I was gonna run away. No lie. You all very scary people, but I guess I wouldn't be much use to you with a hole in my belly either. If I go to Chopper with a hole in my belly, he might be a trite suspicious. Okay. So he's slumped down on the floor underneath the windowsill, down like he's sitting to where he's almost all the way on his back. And Kibo, gets up like on his lap and starts staring into his eyes now. I don't know, man. Oh, well, Brenna is just looking on like she's resigned herself to this now. Timot, he's pretty cowed. I'll take your word for it. All right, girl talk, girl talk. Let's go. She looks taken aback, but she says, "Listen, no one has reported anything untoward. For one thing, we're pretty sure it's happening. We're fairly sure it's happening, but everyone's too scared to report. Otherwise, I might have done something about it before now. Their claims to it being kind of a transactional relationship were just plausible enough to not be able to move on them politically." Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? All right. Well, I'll put the word out and I'll ask people what they think about that. But for now, I don't know of anyone. If I hear anything, you will be the first person I call, Weird Demon Lady. Madam Clap. I know that name. You're you've got quite a reputation. From some of the stories Ian told me, your establishment was quite legendary. I might just do that. For now, let's get my people squared away, and we'll deal with that whenever we know we're going to be alive tomorrow. Do him first. You're not one of them nice clerics. Okay. What's that now? He's still working on him. Okay, so Brenna and the two council people step out of the door and they look like they expect you guys to follow. And they go into the main area of the warehouse amongst all the refugees and such. And they are flanked by some of you guys in your full mercenary regalia. Brenna, to get everybody's attention, starts knocking on one of the pillars, but it doesn't seem to be getting anybody's attention. Thermaturgy. Microdermabrasion-turgy. Okay, so everybody stops what they're doing. Like a couple of guys have stopped mid-bite in their meal over here. Even even Chopper with his feet up on the table over here is taking them down and sits forward to watch. And Brenna starts. She's like, "It's not been easy these past months living with each other. However, we've done our best. At the same time, we have not formed a perfect cohesion, a perfect group, have we? There have been wrongs done to people within these walls. People are not safe in their own home. We are here to rectify these wrongs. As of right now, I have hired these mercenaries standing with me to solve some of our problems. They are here to bring us justice and food, water, security. We will have a better time of it with these people's help. I expect you all to give them full cooperation, and we will have a more perfect union together. You may ask me any questions in my quarters 1 hour from now." And Timot, over to her right, looks to be every bit as cooperative as she wanted him to be. He's nodding and clapping at all the appropriate places. Shaver, he's looking over towards his men and looks to be sizing them up / shaking his head like, what's going to happen to these guys? And as Brenna finishes up, she and her people walk out of the room and back down into the inn. And now you're left with a floor full of refugees and an inn with a maggot on the floor and a council that might be semi-hostile to you. Kibo's broken one at least. Anyway, what do you guys want to do? a lot of eyes are on you guys right now. A lot of the refugees are whispering among themselves, and all of them seem to be watching and seeing what you guys intend to do first. The first thing you guys do in visibility of everybody out here is going to mean a lot to them and what it's going to mean to them. Yeah, it's a lot. It's packed. They're all over the place. The upstairs houses most of the people, but there are some people down here too. Okay, so the first person you heal, Treader, he asks you what he owes you for the healing. He doesn't feel like it should be free. He doesn't know how to respond whenever you say it's just to be a healer. Bless you, sir. You're a saint. God bless us, everyone. So as he says this, he shakes your hand. He said, "Should I tell others that you're available for this?" All right, he hops up and runs over to the stairs and goes up. You lose sight of him after that. All right. Okay, so you get amongst a group of kids and you see a whole bunch of them wandering around together, looking under things and like climbing up on top of wood piles and like looking in crates and stuff. Like they're all kind of searching together. Oh, we're looking for Pena. We're playing hide and seek, and she's the best at hiding. I don't know where she is. 2 hours. I know. I'm starting to get bored. I can't find her. She's little, and she doesn't look like me. She has a blue dress. Okay, so you like go off with the gaggle of kids and they're all like leading you around to all of their favorite places to look, but she's not in any of those places. And the guy kind of like it's a little spindly guy trying to like lift up a hammer and bang on metal as much as he can. He like heats it up and he like has a hard time lifting up the hammer and he just kind of lets it fall on top of the metal however it goes. He jumps back whenever you talk to him. He's like, "Ah, a dwarf." No, I'm a metalsmith, kind of. A shitsmith would be in the mage tower, I would imagine. I'm an I'm an amateur at... Ooh. Is that stout? So he takes the flask from you and he just starts gulping it down, like way more than you would want him to do. It's like he hasn't had a drink in forever. And he's like, "Oh, it's so fucking hot over here by the bellows. Oh, thank you for that." I have to share this. Well, the shitsmith will share. I'm doing my best. Tell you the truth. All right, come closer. Come closer. I've never held a hammer before in my life. I'm trying to make nails, and you can see this pile of junk I've made. It's both. He has no idea what he's doing, and he's a little skeleton of a boy. Listen, if you're qualified, if you have any advice for me, I'd love to hear it. But I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, what? How do I melt this metal? How do I fold this metal? How do I shape things? It's just I was a muckraker. I was a stable boy before this whole thing happened. All right, I was a shitsmith. You can call it. He was? Could you tell me? Like, I'd love to learn how to make a nail. Okay, Madam Claptrap, how are you going to talk with your boys over there? It's always night. Night. They eat the same thing for every meal, pretty much. It's all dried meat or whatever vegetables they can gather. It's a stew. Right. All right. So it looks like one of the guys in the middle, like a wide guy. He's got proportions like a dwarf, but he's a full-grown sort of human, right? With like a broken nose. He seems to be the spokesman of the group. He's like, "Mercenary, eh? Don't look so tough to me. How about you fuck off and let us eat our meal so we can go back out?" The invisible healer is in session. I said, "You look like just another worthless mouth to feed. Whatever they're paying you, it's too much. And now I say, fuck off so we can eat our meal." James, you're mostly invisible because you got a pretty good performance roll, but people can hear the hurdy-gurdy music, and people have started to figure out that's where the healer is. Okay. What? You guys here to give us trouble? We're doing fine here. Maybe you should go find some other faction to join inside the city. Best I can tell, the people with the right kind of jobs, the right kind of disposition are fed properly around here. You want to give people food, give it to them over there, give it to the sheep. I don't trust a mercenary. I don't trust you. You've come in here and upset the balance round here, as far as I can tell. I don't like it. We don't like it. He kind of shakes his head like he has no idea. He's thinking about the reference you just made, and he's like, he shakes it off, and he's like, I don't know what to say to that. Am I licking logs in this metaphor, or I don't get it? Fuck it. How about we throw you out and show you what a real man is supposed to do? Tell you what, you beat me. You beat me. My boys stand back. You beat me one-on-one. And we might just respect you enough to keep you around, as long as you keep on bringing your weight back with food and scavenge. Okay. M- So why don't you roll intimidation? A caster, eh? Magic user? I say we have a go. I've heard you guys have glass jaws. Is that true? Let's fucking go, lady. Yeah, you can see. So his cronies kind of gather around in like a sort of semicircle. and then he gets super close to you. Why don't you roll for initiative, and he'll roll too. It's a 3. All right, so he looks at you and he said, "All right, how about we do this non-lethal, like fists and our bodies only, eh?" Right. You can interpret this however you want. Oi, let's go. Okay. Go ahead and roll for damage. All right, 6 non-lethal damage, or you want to make it lethal? Yep, go ahead. I mean, this takes all of his HP. Yeah, you knock him over, and as he's on the floor, his eyes roll up in the back of his head, and you can tell he's probably going to have a concussion from this. It was a force blast, so. Yeah, they all try to get closer. They kind of like step a little bit closer to you, but none of them really look like they want to make the first move. All right, so from behind the table, the guy that had his feet up, Chopper, kind of saunters over to the place where you guys are. He bends down and looks at the guy on prone on the floor. He's like, "Oh, Gorb, gotten into it again, have you?" And he unstoppers a healing potion and pours it down his throat. "You owe me for this one, by the way." So Gorb instantly feels better, and he's back on his feet in a moment. He looks over at Chopper, and Chopper nods to him and says, "Like I said, you owe me now." And Chopper saunters on back over to his area. Gorb looks at you, and he's like, "Well, I didn't say anything about no magic. You pack a pretty nice punch. You might be able to pull your weight around here. Would you like to come sit with us at the fire?" Hey, is that my tooth on the ground there? Yep, that's my tooth. I can feel it. All right, so what is Eki gonna do? Brenna and the council are right there, and Brenna's not comfortable with the whole torture thing. Do you have a plan for getting Maggot to come and betray his buddy? Okay. I'll I will give you a hint. The man's already pretty much broken. I mean, Kibo's mostly just staring into his eyes right now. Righto, righto. Just call your kobold off, and I will cooperate. Poof. I don't know. Let me see what kind of spell he would use. Right, right. So, sorry, I'm looking at his spells right now. Anyway, so Kibo, he does a couple little gestures and does like a little dance, and he picks up one of the chairs with magic and throws it through a window, and like the glass like shatters everywhere, and the chair erupts into splinters as it contacts the windowsill, and now the place is exposed to air, and he's like, "Poof, Kibo, great wizard!" And the council are looking at you guys like you're insane. Like, please stop destroying our inn. But and Kibo looks very proud of himself, but Brenna looks less than pleased. Okay, righto, righto. I'm your man. Would you like to go now? Would you like to go and betray my friend now? Kibo? Is that his name, Kibo? Oh, okay. Kibo, you are my liege lord and my king now. Uh, my lord King Kibo the Beneficent. I am your man now, and I will be yours until death. Kibo looks at Kibo looks at him and says, I guess kings cannot choose subjects. You serve well, or you'll be poofed. What does he mean by poofing? Uh, oh, okay. I do not wish to be poofed. I am your man now. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to the warehouse area, I guess. Now, do you want to be seen leading him to his buddy, or no? Okay. So, Minro, like, kind of walks into the area, doing his best to hide his intentions, and gets back in with his buddies. Okay. And Kibo instantly goes and like goes upstairs and starts like going in amongst the people and looking over everything like he's inspecting a military regiment. Like he starts rearranging beds and like straightening rugs and like lighting candles and such. Nothing seems to be to his satisfaction. Nobody's taken care of like he wants them to be. So as you guys are doing your thing out there, Chopper walks up to Minro and starts having a conversation with him, and they appear to be whispering to each other. And Minro is doing his best not to look your way at all, and he's you can tell that he's still your man, but he is trying to pass off his absence as a kind of a nonchalance. Not really. It's kind of a hushed whisper, and you're still playing the hurdy-gurdy. You can try. Okay. You don't hear a whole lot of stuff of what they're saying. Sorry. Their body language is one of Chopper is definitely the dominant person in this relationship, and he has Minro cowed, or at least Minro wants him to think that. They're talking to each other, and sometimes Chopper uh, points at the window, and then he points at the door, and it looks like he's talking about going somewhere. Okay, Lark, as you're walking with the kids, why don't you do a perception check to see if you find the little girl that's hiding? He's a cleric artificer. So Bree, you don't see the little girl. The kids are still looking in all the places that they know to hide, but Pina is nowhere to be found. That's what we think. We think she's gone somewhere. She can't be hiding anywhere in here. What, like secret places? Well, I would never divulge someone else's secret place. Well, it wouldn't be a secret if we revealed it to you, or if she revealed it to us. I know of a secret place, but we're not supposed to go there. It's outside. I can't let me mom see me near that place again, but there's a gap in the fence about the right size for one of us to slip through. She might be out there in the city cheating like a little bugger. You're too fat. Will I get fat like you when I grow up? Birdie! My dad says that birds are only good for pooping. Fuck off, really? Okay. So that might just work, but I don't know where she's hiding out in the city. Yeah, It's outside the fence, down the alley, across the big pile of wood. And then you go down into a cellar. The cellar's really cool. Okay. Yeah. Can I see it fly? Uh-huh. Okay. So you're gonna look through your bird's eyes, or you're just gonna let it go and scout? Okay, so why don't you roll a d20 for me? 2 12s, nice. Well, anyway, okay, so after about 10 minutes, your bird comes back. In its claws, it is clutching a little strip of blue cloth. Wait, did your bird rip her dress? Her mom's gonna be so cross. Well, you're an adult. We told you. Our hands are clean. Okay, as you guys are talking about this, my stealth checks have failed critically. Uh, as you guys are doing your thing around the room, the merchant, the chopper, and his buddies are trying to slip away out the back. And you can see as the last one is trying to get out the door, he trips and he knocks over a bunch of like stacked up wood and shit. And like behind him, as Home Dude is trying to get out the door, you see Minro like waving at you and pointing like that's the guy, that's the guy, and they're all filing out the door now to try to go wherever it is they go. They failed their stealth checks. It wasn't up to me. Menro went out with his buddies because it'd be weird if he didn't, but he was waving at you guys, try to get your attention, get you to follow. So you guys have got a few plot threads here that you'll have to pick up next time. It's 11:40. You've got the missing girl, the chopper and his buddies going out to get the supplies, and you've got the rest of the refugee crises, also the water situation and food situation. And Treader is building up a lot of goodwill for you guys as you guys are hanging out in here. He's healing people and playing music for them. And they saw you put one of the scavengers on his ass, and they know you guys are here to dispense some justice. Go ahead. He is a demon lady, I guess. He might have to exercise you. Roll a deception check. And you got to do it against Home Dude's insight check. Oh, no. And he sees right through you. So next time you guys have a sneaky mission, rescue mission, and some olive branch missions and punching people missions. So think about how you guys want to do that, and I'll have to draw up the maps for all these for next time. All right.